about 1800. A little before that, just a tad. And I've always said, why doesn't it have a flagpole from the grass? They call it a flagpole from the grass. They have a little one on top, a very little one. This is about the largest you'll ever see, and it's tapered. It's at a quality that you guys rarely get to even put up. They do that for a living. They're incredible people. I don't know them, but I love them. And I would bet that they all voted for Trump. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I think so. But we're about to lift it, and we also have one going on what's called the front or the north. We have one going there, identical. So we'll have one on this side of the building, we'll have one on that side of the building properly placed. In this case, we had a lot of choices, putting it on that hill, putting it different places. It's such a beautiful pole, we thought we'd put it near. I mean, it always looks best when it's near a Doral. I put it right near, I have a similar pole. And these are the best poles anywhere in the country, or in the world, actually. They're tapered. They have the nice top. You know, I don't know if you people are aesthetic. You know, they're the fake news. I don't know about I don't know, but it's a very exciting project to me. And then at 11 o'clock, we're lifting the flag. But we're going to lift the pole now, and then they're going to the other side, get that, and then we're going to do, I think, 2 flag liftings. We'll be putting it up at 11 on here, and a couple of minutes later on the other side. We'll start here at 11. So that'll be very nice, very patriotic. We're doing well and as a country. If the Fed would ever lower rates, you know, we'd buy debt for a lot less. It's a shame. This guy, do you ever have a guy that's not a smart person and you're dealing with him and you have to deal? He's not a smart guy. He's worried about inflation. I said, that's right. If there's inflation in 6 months or 9 months, you lower the rates, so you raise the rates. You can do whatever you want, Brian, right? Right. So let's say there's rampant inflation, which there's none. You know what there is? There's success. I got a call from Congress last night. Sir, there's a problem. I said, what is it? Money is pouring in. We don't know how to account for it. I said, check the tariffs. $88 billion came in from tariffs. No inflation. And it's going to get even more so. I know what I'm doing. So we have a stupid person, frankly, at the Fed. He probably won't cut today. Europe had 10 cuts, and we had none. And I guess he's a political guy. I don't know. He's a political guy who's not a smart person, but he's costing the country a fortune. So what I'm going to do is, you know, he gets out in about 9 months. He gets fortunately terminated. Biden, I would have never reappointed him. Biden reappointed him. I don't know why that is, but I guess maybe he was a Democrat. You know, I got great advice from Mnuchin on this one. Great advice. But he's done a poor job. So we have no inflation. We have only success. And I'd like to see interest rates get down. Now, Biden did a lot of very short-term debt. So we have short-term debt coming due. And because of this guy's rates, you know, if he'd lowered a point, I'd pay about a point less. Then if he'd lowered 2 points, I'd pay about 2 points less. And that's for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 5 years. It's hundreds of billions, it's even trillions of dollars that we're going to lose because of this too late. I call him Too Late Powell because he's always too late. I mean, if you look at him, every time I did this, I was right 100%. He was wrong. Maybe I should go to the Fed. Am I allowed to appoint myself, Doug? I don't know. Am I allowed to appoint myself at the Fed? I do a much better job than these people. So anyway, we should be 2 points lower. It'd be nice to be 2.5 points lower. We'd be saving $800 billion, $700 billion. That's a lot of money. Take it for nothing, for absolutely nothing. We'd save $600, $700, $800 billion. We have, I think we're 38th now in interest, and we should be number 1. We should be the lowest. But, and by the way, if he's worried about inflation, that's okay. I understand that. I don't think there's going to be any. So far, there hasn't. I mean, we have almost no inflation. We've done a great job. When I came in, we had a lot of inflation. We went through 4 years of the highest inflation in the history of our country with Sleepy Joe Biden. And Sleepy Joe. And he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And so we had the highest inflation we've ever had in the history of our country. And then it came down because when I got elected, it started dropping because people understood that I knew what I was doing. But now we have a man that just refuses to lower the Fed rate, just refuses to do it. And he's not a smart person. I don't even think he's that political. I think he hates me, but that's okay. You know, he should. He should. I call him every name in the book, trying to get him to do something. I've been nice to him. I do it always. I don't know how to sell. I've been so nice to him, fellas, you wouldn't believe. Let's have dinner. Too late. I call him too late. Come on, too late. Let's have dinner. I do it every way in the book. I'm nasty. I'm nice. Nothing works. He's like just a stupid person. But I don't expect anything. Maybe he does a little bit, but we should be 2.5 points out. Remember, Europe had 10 cuts. We had none. We're paying more rate, more interest than a lot of European nations that can't carry our suitcase. I'm going to be nice. It's another expression. You know what the other expression, can't carry, or you know what it is, but I shouldn't use it in front of the fake things. So it's very sad to see it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go very short term, like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Wait till this guy gets out, get the rates way down, and then go long term. Because we have a tremendous appetite for our debt, because our country is doing well. But think of it, I got a call from Congress 3 nights ago. Sir, we can't account for the money coming in. I said, that's a good problem. You know, the bad problem is we don't have any money. They can't account. There's so much more money than we thought is coming into the Treasury. We don't know where it's coming from, sir. I said, check out the tariffs. He calls back about a day later. Wow, I think you were right. Yeah, I was right. That's nothing. You haven't seen anything yet. More importantly than the money coming in, we have factories being built, AI, auto factories. 2 of them stopped yesterday in Mexico, you read. And they're coming here because they don't want to pay the tariffs. They can't pay the tariffs. It doesn't work. So I just want to wish you a lot of luck with the new flagpole. We have 2 of them. And we're going to do this one now, then we're going to do the other one. 11 o'clock or so, we're going to have a flag raising, which will be great. And I got to get these guys back to work. They're making a fortune. They're standing around making a fortune. But remember this, somewhere in this group, there's somebody that is going to captivate some movie producer. Not Harvey Weinstein, but Harvey's seen a better day. So it won't be Harvey, but it'll be somebody. And it'll say, that guy is perfect for a movie. And you're going to become a star, and your friends are going to call you, and you won't even return their phone call anymore. You know? They say, what do you do for a living? I put up flagpoles. I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm a big movie star. So some way you have that. Anyway, let's have a good, they call it a lifting. They also use another word, but I'm not going to use that word. You know what that is? The word, it starts with an E. You know what the word is? If I ever used it, I'd be run out of town by you people. All right, so enjoy it. Doug, you're going to get some good. He's going to win another Nobel Prize, I think, for this picture. So maybe the flag will be even more exciting. But this is pretty exciting. That's some equipment, I'll tell you what. Look at that crane. That's some beautiful equipment. There's nothing like America. Have a good time.
Mr. President, have you given to answer questions about whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities? Where's your mindset?
Well, obviously I can't say that, right?
But where's your mindset on that?
You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch?
But would you say you're
You don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this.
I mean, I've
never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you got to do something. You got to negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit, that was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's
Mr.
where
President,
it ended on the first night. Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now
Not really. Nothing's
make
too late.
a deal with
the only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
Have the Iranians reached out to you, Mr. President?
What?
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did they say?
I said it's very late. You know? I said it's very late to be talking.
Mr. President.
When they meet, I don't know, there's a big difference between now and a week ago, right?
Mr. President, you said you just about said we may meet. Is this about Vance and Witkoff possibly going to talk with him?
It's about anybody. They even suggested they come to the White House. It's a big difference. But they've suggested that they come to the White House. That's, courageous, but, it's like not easy for them to do. But they suggested, because I can't go now because of what's going on. I had to come back early from the G7, which was terrific, by the way, in Canada. Really terrific, good people.
Is there a possibility of next week or sooner that these officials?
Well, I don't know how much longer it's going to go on. They're totally defenseless. They have no air defense whatsoever. Totally captured. We've totally captured the air, Brian.
Mr. President, you've been fairly compassionate towards the Iranian people, suggesting
It's human. The human beings. I know a lot of people from Iran, from New York, from Washington, mostly from New York. They're incredible people. They're smart. They're energetic. They can be difficult, but so can you. No, they're great people. They're smart people. And those people are getting the hell beat out of them now. And it's really a shame. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's another one. Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday, and I said, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too, but so many people have been killed. The big thing with that one is far more people are dead than have been reported in the Ukraine-Russia. Many, many more people. A building falls down, they say nobody was hurt.
What does unconditional surrender mean?
Well, you know what it means, unconditional.
Can you explain it for
Two
those
very
who
simple
don't?
words. Very simple. Unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it. I give up. No more. Then we go blow up all the all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place there. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. War is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen. A lot of turns are made, so I don't know. I wouldn't say that we won anything yet. I would say that we sure as hell made a lot of progress, and we'll see. The next week is going to be very big, maybe less than a week, maybe less.
Can you share
But
more?
is there anybody here that said it would be okay to have a hostile, very zealots really, but to have a hostile country have a nuclear weapon that could destroy 25 miles, but much more than that, could destroy other nations just by the breeze blowing the dust. That dust blows to other nations and they get decimated. It's just not a threat you can have. And we've been threatened by Iran for many years. If you go back and look at my history, if you go back 15 years, I was saying we cannot let Iran get a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. I mean it more now than I ever meant it. Yeah.
Mr. President.
A question on deportations, Mr. President. You said last week that changes would be coming for farmers who've seen a lot of the workers they rely on taken away. But then DHS said this week that worksite enforcement would remain in place.
Everybody's
so
right.
what's your message to farmers?
Everybody's right. Look, we got to get the bad people out of here first, and we're doing that. We're taking them out by the thousands. Murderers, drug dealers, people that are mentally insane from insane asylums. What they gave to us, fellas, they gave. Oh, do we have anybody in here that's a member of the? No, I don't think so. We've known all these people for a long time. Any illegal immigrants in here? No? If they were, they'll find out.
right?
They'll be checking you. You won't believe it. Their whole life will be destroyed because of this press conference. Watch, they'll destroy these people. I didn't want to tell them that before they stood up, but they'll end up being he's a so-and-so. This one is from you know where. Don't worry. I think you're going to be okay. I'll be right behind you. Far behind you. I'll be right behind you. Now, look, we have to take care of our farmers. We have to take care of people that run leisure, hotels. I mean, we have to take care of them. But most importantly, we have to get the criminals out of our country. And Biden let in thousands, 11,888 murderers. Many of them murdered more than one person. Can you believe it? Almost 50% of them murdered more than one person. He let them into our country. They emptied out the jails of countries from all over the world, from the Congo, from Venezuela, from all over the place. They emptied out their jails, many of them. I would, if I were running one of the countries, I would have emptied out my prison population into the U.S., and many countries did. And we're getting them out, okay? We're getting them out. Thank you very much. Let's watch this. Brian, go ahead. Are you
I was
okay?
just going to follow up on the immigration real quick.
Yeah.
Can you comment on the impact of the Trump card and how much revenue that's potentially?
Yeah, we have a thing called the Trump card. This has not been done before or thought of. And for $5 million, this is usually people that would either be working for companies like Apple, I think, is going to buy a lot of them, because they can't get people into the country. You know, if you come in through the southern border, you have no problem. You can be a criminal, you can be a drug dealer, and you have no problem. But if you go and graduate number one in your class from a great school, you can't get a job because there's no access to getting it. You can't get a green card. So we're going to sell that to people, in some cases wealthy, in some cases not wealthy. They'll be paid for by universities. Look at Harvard. They got $53 billion. That whole thing is coming to an end. It's amazing what we found out. What a disgrace. They have $53 billion. We gave them 5, 6, and some people say it's as much as $9 billion over a short period of time. So that's very much coming to it. They want to make a deal more than, I would say Harvard wants to make a deal more than Iran wants to make a deal, and Iran wants to make a deal. I mean, a lot of things are happening on a lot of fronts, Brian. A lot of good things are happening. And frankly, you know, it's a little bit of a, as we used to say liberal, now they say progressive. I use the word liberal. Progressive's too nice a word because they're destroying the country. They're really destroying the liberal politicians are destroying our country. Look what they've done during Biden's 4 years. I mean, we're working on, so much of our effort goes to getting people out of the country that should have never been here in the first place. What he's done to this country, it's not him. He had no idea what was going on. Everybody knows that. It's other people. It's Lisa and this one and that. All these people, all this scum that was around the Oval, the Oval Office or around the beautiful Resolute desk telling this guy, here, do this, do that, and not even telling him. They just go over to the auto pen and sign whatever the hell they wanted to sign. Because say what you want about Biden, he wasn't for open borders. He wasn't for transgender for everybody. He wasn't for men playing in women's sports. But he has no idea what the hell, he has no idea. And they were very upset. They wanted Bernie Sanders. And after about a week of this guy, they said, wait a minute, we just hit gold. This guy has no clue. He'll do anything we tell him. And then they realized they don't even have to get permission. They just go up to the auto pen. That's a subversion. That's a takeover of our government. And you people ought to start looking at it. That's a takeover. Not only did they cheat, I guess you saw yesterday came out with China and the license plates. Tens of thousands of cards. They used those cards to vote on the second election, my second, the one 2020. Because as everybody here knows, I won that election by a lot. But the only good thing I can say is this is a much more historic term than I think I could have had as a second term. This is a much more historic election. And now we're going to put up a beautiful flagpole, and we're going to put up a flag. And I hope you enjoy it. And let's see how real people work. These are real people. You're not real people. This job is too easy. Okay? Thank you very much.
President, how tall is the flagpole?
Thank you, French.
Close to 100 feet.
Real quick on Pakistan, sir. You have a meeting today with the Pakistani Army staff. What are you looking forward to achieving diplomatically?
Well, I stopped a war between Pakistan. I love Pakistan. I think Modi is a fantastic man. I spoke to him last night. We're going to make a trade deal with Modi of India. But I stopped the war between Pakistan and India. This man was extremely influential in stopping it from the Pakistan side, Modi from the India side, and others. And they were going at it, and they're both nuclear countries. I got it stopped. I don't think I had one story. Did I have one story written about it? I stopped a war between two major nations, major nuclear nations. I don't think I had a story written about it, but that's okay. You know why? The people know. The people know.
Mr. President,
did anybody write that story about the war? Did anybody? Did you write it?
we wrote one.
We all wrote it.
Did you write it?
Of course.
Just one more
You wrote it.
on the flagpole, sir.
He's relative
Any adjustments that need to be made for Marine One departures and arrivals?
No, we put it so that Marine One is very far away. We did it in conjunction with the Air Force, with everybody, and everybody signed off on it. We have to have it far away. It's very far from Marine One's out there. It's out in the field. So you have to have a certain distance. We're about 3 times that distance. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
Can you share what you told Prime Minister Netanyahu about getting involved?
Thank you, Press.
You have a good view over there? If you want, you can come over here. Come on over here. Come on over here.
Mr. President, what do you say to the Supreme Leader of Iran who says that they will not surrender?
Say good luck.
When does your
And what is the
patience
end date?
run out with Iran?
Say it.
When does your patience run out?
It's already run out. That's why we're doing what we're doing. They have 60 days and a big, 60 days, plenty of time. And they made a mistake. Honestly, they made a mistake. Their country's in ruins. So many people are dead that shouldn't be dead. It's very sad. Come on over here. You don't have to ruin your shoes. That's why we're changing the red. People are ruining their shoes. Put some pole. And the wires go inside. It's very rare. You see that. Nice, right? When they're outside, they're very noisy. They snap in the wind.
Mr. President,
Yeah,
I hear this is a personal project for you, sir.
it is. Yeah. Well, I'm paying for it.
You spend your own money on it?
Yeah.
Wow, sir.
I'd say each pole is like $50,000.
On the ballroom?
Yeah, we start pretty soon. We have a beautiful ballroom. Good question. Right here. See the east wing? Okay. Goes from here all the way. See the big piece of land over here? Goes all the way over to there. We've done it really very good. We're using one of the top architects.
How large will the flags be?
They're big. They're beautiful. They're big.
Mr. President, do you still intend to go to NATO?
Yeah, we can. Take some. Amazing equipment, isn't it? When you think, huh? What we have?
hard-working
What they do, the mind, what they can develop. No, look, they don't know what we're doing. They don't know it's tough, it's easy. They just want to put up flags and go to work. These are great workers.
What gave you the idea to do this?
I've had it for a long time. And the first time I had it, but you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference. But he was the same no matter what.
Yeah, it is surprising that out of all the presidents we've had, that this has never taken place.
Think of it.
It's crazy.
Look, there's a little flagpole that's like 15 feet high.
no one
A
can
little
see.
tiny flag up top. This is the real deal. This is the best you can get. There's nothing like this. Most of them are 20 feet, 25 feet. This is close to 100 feet. And I think it's a great location. You put it out there, people don't appreciate it. And then we're going to do a flower bed around it. Beautiful flower bed.
Oh, is that where that open
bigger
spot
than
is?
that.
Oh, okay.
So you have the pole and then you have the flower.
When do you even come out here and hit some golf balls? When you find time in your schedule.
35 club championships. You all know that.
I know that.
35 club championships. I haven't hit a ball in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Time to get out there.
It's time to get a little busy. Would you rather have me be doing what I'm doing?
Of course.
In the end. See the way they have that hoisted is great. Because if you lift it up from one, you have to lift it from the bottom. But you have to get it there. But if you lifted it from without that, the whole thing would split.
So interesting.
Because it's in big sections. And they connect so incredibly.
Mr. President, while we're watching, could I ask, when was the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
The phone call that he said I didn't make, that I documented. Did you see that? I haven't spoken to him. No, it's screenshot.
That was the last time?
That was the last time.
Any changes to the troops being deployed there?
No, I won the case yesterday. I didn't read that I won it because I don't think anybody wrote it. They only write it when I lose it.
And
Did you notice I won the case?
Ninth Circuit.
You know what's interesting here is that when it goes in, they then put sand inside. And if they use dirt or anything else other than sand, it rots out the pole over a period of years. But sand, for some reason, chemically just works.
You can go
It
deploy.
gives you flexibility, and it doesn't do anything to the cast. It's amazing. So watch that's 9 feet deep, and then, boy, it's it's a perfect pole for this.
So it's going 9 feet. Yeah.
It goes 9 feet down, and then there's nothing in there right now. Just the tube goes 9 feet down, and when they fill it with sand, pure sand, absolutely pure sand. If they didn't, the chemicals do. They work on the bottom part. Is that interesting to anybody? No,
Real estate.
So you prefer
Well,
the
you're a
pole on the
builder.
inside?
Oh, much better. First of all, it looks better. I mean, I've never seen it on this. This is the newest and the greatest. I've never seen it at Mar-a-Lago. I have a similar pole, not quite as tall as this, but the rope's on the outside, and you hear that rope banging.
Clanging all the time.
What's that little thing sticking up out the top side? You see the little thing sticking out?
The
What
ball?
is that? Yeah, the bar. What is that?
Finial.
Like the little fin?
Oh, I see. That's so they can hook up the ropes. They put the rope in later.
Sometimes you see an eagle on top of the flagpole.
I like this better. This is a little more classy. I'm a big eagle person, as you probably know, but this looks better.
Mr. President, can you share some of what you've told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu?
He said, keep going. What do I say?
Have you given him any
I speak to him every
indication?
day. He's a good man, doing a lot. Been very unfairly treated by his country, I think. Very unfairly treated.
Have you given him any indication that you may seek to aid them more than you have already?
No, I haven't. So far, he's doing a good job. He has been treated very unfairly. He's a wartime president, and he's going through this nonsense. It's ridiculous.
Sounds like you had a good meeting
with
yesterday.
him that
With who?
Yeah, your National Security Council.
Very good meeting. Yeah.
Anything that came up in particular that?
Well, little things, big things, but good meeting. It's working well.
it seems like
See
you
how straight that is? Look, they put that dead straight, and then they pour in the sand. It's amazing, right? Who would think you have to have sand? And it's got to be a very pure sand.
I know you enjoy being president. Do you ever miss building things?
I love
hotels?
construction.
Yeah. It's in your heart, isn't it?
Well, I love it. I know it better than anybody. When I see a train, a railroad going from San Francisco to L.A., I think it's 100 times over better.
It's incredible.
One of the most incompetent things. That's news company.
And why do they keep funding that?
I think we're not going to. In fact, a little bit of a story. We're not going to fund that anymore. It's out of control. First of all, it doesn't go where it's supposed to. It's supposed to go from L.A. to San Francisco. Now, because they don't have any money, they've spent, 30, 40 times more than it was supposed to spend. And they made it much shorter because it no longer goes into the cities. It stops miles outside of the city.
Because if you were a builder and you went 34 times over the budget, you would be fired, right?
If you went one time, if you went a half a time over the
There you
budget.
go.
So see what they're doing? They're unwrapping the sand. It's all pure sand.
Along those lines,
And if it weren't pure sand, it would eat away at
would
the
erode,
metal.
right?
Mr. President, with the rail funding in California, will your recent dust-ups with Governor Newsom impact additional wildfire relief out there? They've requested
Yeah,
$40
maybe.
billion.
Sure, maybe. The man's incompetent. He shouldn't have fires like that. You clean the floor of your forest and you won't have any forest fires. You know, Austria has very, very flammable trees. They don't have forest fires because they clean the floors. They maintain their forests. It could impact. You know, hatred is never a good thing in politics. When you don't like somebody, don't respect somebody, it's harder for that person to get money if you're on top. But he's done a bad job.
How will you ensure that...
I'll tell you one thing, if I didn't bring in the military to Los Angeles, you wouldn't even have a seat. You probably wouldn't be here. You'd be covering the riots in Los Angeles. And we got a great ruling, as you know, yesterday from the judge. Yeah. But if we didn't bring in the military in Los Angeles, you would have maybe no city. You'd have just what you have with the housing, burned to the ground.
How will you ensure
See,
that
what they're
change
doing is they take this out.
With the ruling yesterday,
President,
does that
do you agree
mean?
with Israeli Prime Minister?
Well, go ahead. You're going to ask him more.
Yeah,
What?
well, with the ruling yesterday, does that mean you're more empowered to send National Guard to other cities as well, maybe New
I don't
York?
think more empowered. I always thought I was empowered. It would be
But nothing.
shocking ruling. Only a guy like Newsom would even ask for it. You know, he should be thanking me instead of fighting. Newsom wouldn't have a city right now. It would be burning to the ground. You'd have people running all over, throwing rocks. Did you see them breaking up the concrete? Because we caught the bricks. They were bringing bricks, heavy bricks, red bricks, by the bag, 5 or 6 big bags. The guys strong guys that could hardly even carry them. They're going to hand them out to people to throw at the police. And by the way, the chief of police in Los Angeles said that we needed the help. If we didn't have the help, we would have been in trouble. Now he changed his mind 4 days later, because he put a little bit, but and he actually needed it more than. But we did a great job. We quelled that thing. And the fact that we are even there thinking about going in, they won't bother with it anymore. They'll go someplace else. But we'll be there too. We'll be wherever they go, we're going to be.
Did you see the Maine numbers for immigration?
Yeah, great numbers.
0.
Yeah, we had 0. Did you see that, everybody?
You were going to ask that.
0.
I was going to ask that.
She's on our side now. Because most people don't want to ask her.
Well,
that.
she said, she told earlier, Brian, you see the Maine numbers? It's 0.
0, yeah.
How is that even?
Because we really have a tight border. Now, we have let a lot of people in, but they came in legally. They actually have to take a little test, and they have to say, I love America, minor things like that.
Mr. President, can you talk about extending TikTok again?
Yeah, we'll be extending it. We're going to extend it. We're going to probably make a deal. I think we'll need China's blessing on it. I think they'll bless it.
How was Prime Minister Carney towards you?
Very good.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been nicer. We enjoyed the Canada stay a lot. And I had to come back, obviously, for what's happening in the Middle East. But I got everything done. He's a good man. I think Carney's a good man. Very well, a good representative of Canada.
You think he's liked by the people?
I think so, yeah.
Mr. President, have you given the Iranians an ultimatum?
You could say so. Huh? They know what's happening. Maybe you could call it the ultimate ultimatum, right?
What essentially was that, though?
Oh, I don't want to say. Look, give me a break.
What about the Paramount deal?
I would say the elder. She's doing great. She's doing great. She's really enjoying it. Barron's enjoying it. All my kids are enjoying it, actually. It's pretty hot out here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's muggy. What's muggier, the D.C. or West Palm Beach in the summer?
I think this is muggier. This is a muggy. This is that.
Mr. President,
Mr. President, could I ask you about the Paramount deal and the merger with Skydance and the Ellisons? Like, what's holding that up, and do you see that being resolved anytime soon?
I hope so. It's a good. Ellison's great. They'll do a great job with it. But so what they did is they interviewed 60 Minutes. They interviewed Kamala. Her answer was horrendous. I would say election threatening. This is the day before the election. Her answer was election threatening or so incompetent. So they took the entire answer out, and they took another answer to another question and put it in. And they did that, I understand, a number of times, but you don't have to do it a number of times. The main question they asked, and we caught them. And they're very embarrassed by it, and they're working on a settlement now. But think of it, did you ever hear that one before? They took the entire, every word, threw it out, put another answer. Do you think they do that for me?
I think it happens daily.
Well, I've never seen it. I thought I've seen everything. That I've never seen. And it's very embarrassing. The head of 60 Minutes got fired. The head of CBS got fired. They're all getting fired.
Do you think the deal
See what
will
they're
not
doing
fly?
here?
What are
Wait.
they doing?
This is only if you're in construction. This is exciting. See, they have to get it perfectly straight. And once it's perfect, then they pour in the sand, and it's there for 100 years.
Mr. President, as the Senate works on the big beautiful bill, it seems like SALT is going to be a really big issue between Senate Republicans and House Republicans.
Well, I hope it's
what are
not.
you telling senators? Because the New York Republicans on the House side are making clear that that's a red line for them.
Well, if it were a red line, then get ready for a 68% tax increase in 1929, because we're taking care of that issue too. You know what that is? That's debt ceiling. The debt ceiling, we have to move the debt. And if we don't move the debt, it's you violate covenants. It's a terrible thing. Actually, Pocahontas even agreed with me on that. She's been wanting to get rid of the debt ceiling because she said it's too violent. It is violent. So I mean, anybody that votes against it, they voted to give a 68% tax increase, and many other bets. There would be no money for the border. We have billions of dollars allocated to immigration, the border, keeping criminals out, getting criminals out too. If that doesn't pass, you'll get a 68% tax increase. And I would say this, any senator that votes against it, and that includes Democrats, I think they'll be finished in politics.
On SALT specifically, do you think Senate Republicans or House Republicans will have to bend more in order to get the bill at large?
I don't know. We're going to see how it works out. It's a very difficult issue, to be honest with you. It's very difficult, and I understand both sides, but we'll just have to see. Hopefully a compromise or something's going to be made, but it's a very difficult issue. But remember that, people say, what do you think? 68% tax, so all those numbers I told you, how well the economy is doing, it all gets wiped out. You would have the largest tax increase in history by far, by 3 times, if they don't get the big, beautiful deal. I always say the great, big, beautiful deal. I put the word great in there. They took that.
It's going to be great, big.
If we get that passed, it'll be the best, one of the greatest pieces. And that's just the beginning of a lot of things that are going to happen. Because we're going to get numbers down. We're going to get them way down. But that's the beginning. That's our big first step. But that's the most important piece of legislation. In terms of dollar value and everything else, there's nothing as big as that.
Speaking of
they thought that might be 7 or 8 bills. It's all in one.
Speaking of taxes, starting in July 1st, California is upping their tax on gasoline again per gallon. I mean, that's...
Well, I beat the California mandate. Congress just passed a bill ending it. That was terrible. So what they were saying, everybody by 2030 has to have an electric car. And people don't want it. I'm all for electric cars, but you have to want one. And right now it's about 7%. But they were forcing everybody to have it. I ended that. And now they're coming out with more. No, in California, we've got some gas stations where just 2 weeks ago it was $1.98, $1.99. We've got the gas down low. And we have this little situation which will drive it up a little bit, but very little. And it's going to come down again. Going to give people a lot of extra money. Groceries are down. Eggs are down. The eggs. Right? They hit me the first week about eggs. But no, I think that, look, you know what I do whenever I talk about Gavin Newsom? I say, look at the railroad. Look at the railroad. It's not even possible. Do you think he comes out and sees the construction workers? I don't think so.
I don't think he put an American flag in front of the Capitol in Sacramento either.
Mr. President, some of the supporters are split on the U.S. response to
Who are you with?
CNN.
Well,
There's a split,
fake
though.
news. Fortunately, nobody watches.
But my question
Is anybody watching CNN nowadays? I haven't seen it in a long time.
But some of your supporters are wary of the U.S. getting involved in another
Oh, I haven't
foreign
seen
wall.
that. No.
And some believe that we should support.
Do you ever ask a positive question at CNN? My supporters are more in love with me today, and I'm in love with them more than they were even at election time, where we had a total a landslide. We won all 7 swing states. Did CNN report that? We won all 7 out of 7, which everyone said would be almost impossible. And we won by millions of votes. We won 2,750 districts versus 505 districts. Think of that, 2,750 versus 505. And CNN...
I think what she might be alluding to is the base is going to stay with you regardless. And you've gone through different tests, regardless. But some of the people in the base don't want a long-term war. They're afraid that we're going to get into a long-term war.
We're not looking for a long-term war. We're looking... I only want one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's it. I'm not looking long-term, short-term. And I've been saying that for 20 years. I've been saying it as a civilian who got a lot of publicity. People would cover it. Very simply, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's it. It's not a question of anything else. And if you did, you wouldn't have much of a country, because they would use it on us and they'd use it on other people, and they'd be a terror all over the world. So I may have some people that are a little bit unhappy now, but I have some people that are very happy, and I have people outside of the base that can't believe that this is happening. They're so happy. And there was a poll that just came out today that my approval rating is the highest it's ever been. All I'm doing is saying you can't have a nuclear weapon. And I tried to do it nicely, and then on day 61 I said, let's go, because we can't let that happen. And I've been saying it for 20 years. Okay, I'm going to leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Come on.